Alright, let's introduce the next piece, guys. Let's bring the mood down a bit. Let's get my mind off nastiness and get my mind back into the art. The art. Right, fantastic. Let's put the lights down. That makes me think more about Richard. Alright, let's talk about our next piece. Okay, our next piece is written by a playwright and historian. Her name is Amy Ng. I'm apologies if I got your surname wrong, Amy Ng. Okay. The piece is called Shoes. It tells the story of Kiku, a woman who is desperately fighting to keep America out of her home and her inner sanctum of beauty and purity. Okay, the piece is called Shoes. Welcome to the stage.
There she goes, jumping into my freshly swept home, her clattering boots, atoms of dog poo, cat pee, cigarette butts, junkie syringes, used condoms clinging to her soles. Practically tripping over the slippers I've set out like a trap before the front door, ignoring them anyway, like she has done for the last 3 years. Just tell her to take off her shoes, says my husband. Your home, your rules. But the words stick in my throat. She is a guest. I greet her with an inclination of my head. Does she notice that I've reduced the angle of my bow with each visit? No, she doesn't. Just as she doesn't notice that I don't serve the good tea anymore. Not that it makes any difference, since she asks for milk to serve with sancha, matcha, and genmai and oolong. I take her coat with only one hand, but even this extraordinary rudeness goes unnoticed, and she bares her lipstick-smeared teeth at me. They haven't been trained to read subtle signs, says my husband. You'll have to spell it out for them, give it to them straight. Shoot from the hip, he says in English, in a bad imitation of a bad cowboy western. And he laughs, an American laugh, and I feel yet again what a stranger he has become. When in Rome, do as the Romans do, he exhorts me. But at what point does adaptability become betrayal? At what point do I surrender my strict and careful upbringing, our lovely tradition polished through the centuries like an old teapot, the whole iron etiquette which is civilization, which is the only thing that makes human interaction bearable, the cage bars that keep us from tearing each other to pieces? Why should I give up all this for her? Immaculate as always, she sighs, peering over my shoulder as I silently sort the groceries into their proper places. I suspect these weekly supermarket runs are the real reason behind my husband's magnanimity, his inexplicable willingness to jump to her defense. If it weren't for her, he'd have to drive me to the supermarket. I am not ungrateful, I am not. I feed her mean-clawed cat when she is away. I let her in with a spare key late at night when she's locked herself out. I lent her my chrysanthemums for her coffee table so she can impress her Bible study group every Wednesday. Really, Kiku, you should at least try him out, she says. He's taught many foreign ladies with great success. It would make all the difference in the world if you had a driver's license. You need to get out of the house. Perhaps she doesn't want to drive me anymore. Silently, I serve the Castella sponge cake, only supermarket quality, of course. I've had this before in Nagasaki, she cries out triumphantly. Our tour guide's such a nice history student, summer job, you know? Says Portuguese missionaries brought it over with them, but the Japanese perfected it. Like what Toyota did with Ford. Scrumptious. You must give me your recipe. That. She couldn't even tell it was just store-bought. I went to the Atomic Bomb Museum in Nagasaki, she says solemnly, widening her eyes and clasping her knees. Terrible. Just terrible. What a lovely city, all flattened, and this radioactive poison lodging in your bodies for decades and decades. We saw the most graphic exhibitions, too graphic, I have to say. Human skin with multicolored dots like glow-in-the-dark stars, and toenails growing black and twisted, even now, 60 years after the bomb. It's just amazing. You Japanese don't bear any resentment. The way you've transformed your bombed cities into global peace beacons. I love the serenity of Japanese culture. I feel this serenity whenever I'm in your presence. Yes, Kiku, you sitting there so peacefully, your hands folded in your lap. Tranquil, gracious, still, serene. I stare at the leather boots as they scrape my white birch floor, wondering what they conceal. Mutant toes, perhaps, twisted and black. Why wouldn't she take them off otherwise? Why wouldn't she ever take them off? They wear shoes in their own homes too, says my husband, as if this somehow made it better, the horror of it. Did he not see that the outer and the inner must be kept apart, the filth without and the purity within, the holiness of the home, the sanctuary of light separated by a chasm from the outside? Does he take off only out of habit his shoes? Will he start wearing his shoes in here, bringing toxic traces into our home, our insides? Does he not know, does he not care about this world-preserving act of mine that admits the chaos and the filth and the defilement? I have created this, here, where all is clean, all is light. There's tea, there's flowers, there's silence. Listen, Kiku, I'm founding an international women's group to promote cultural exchange at church. We Americans are so ignorant of other societies. I want you to be a part of it. You could give a talk. No, don't go shaking your head at me. You're too modest. You could teach us a lot, I'm sure. Tell us about Japanese society. How do the Japanese regard America? I wouldn't start off with the bomb right away. Might put people's backs up. You know how it is. I know! Our guide in Nagasaki, such a nice young man, floppy hair, like your husband's, real bohemian flair. I love that about Japanese men. He was telling us the most interesting thing about missionaries in Japan. I never knew Christianity went that far back in Japan. Yes, the ladies will be most interested. I'll start sending out invitations right away. Where's my diary? What could I tell them? The first era of Catholicism in Japan came abruptly to an end with the crucifixion of 26 Christians in Nagasaki. One legend has it that popular anger was sparked off by foreign sightseers refusing to take off their shoes in temple. I am silent.
Another round of applause. That was Shoes by Amy. Everyone has like a nosy neighbour just like that. I have one neighbour, this is a true story, who my parents were like, they were like to where they lived, or whatever McDonald was to the news. Do you know what I mean? They were like the first brown people, like, and then when, and one neighbour, when they moved in, they also had a story, knocked on their door and had a chat, and the neighbour was like, oh my God, Abbott's Gardens is just getting so colourful. I know. Bad. Yes, it is. I guess, like you don't have a colour. Everyone's got a colour. If you liked it, wave kiss. If you thought, I like the taste of that, I want more, wave lick. If you want to tear the meat off the tones of it, just hold that bite right now. Place your votes, or cast your votes. Let me see, we've got a few kisses. We've got a few bites. There's a man holding lick with a very serious face. Now he's looking away. Don't worry, I won't do you like I've done, Richard. I'm moved on. Richard's going to be jealous now, though. We've got some bites, we've got some ladies with bites, we've got a kiss at the back. It's a nice mix. One lady's waving her kiss. Yeah, that's what you do that?
I just got caught with the beat, it was good.
You got caught with the beat? Oh, I should pick up the DJ. His name's Psykhomantus. Pick up the DJ tonight. I like the fact that I've got a soundtrack. I feel like Shaft. You know what I mean? It's like, if you come to the stage, she gets music. And I like the fact it's not like bashment. You know what I mean? It's like, because sometimes people think I've got locks that I am Jamaican, but I'm not. Exactly. What's that a pity? That's a pity. Someone said I'm joking cookie, but she knows Jamaicans. It's like, yeah, I'm joking. Where were you from?
We have an egg here.
There's
There's no guns in the house.
There's no guns in the house. Yeah, man, don't let us back in. Don't make no jokes. Soho, it's all good, it's all good. What's your name? Katrina, where are you from, Katrina, originally? Like, when I say originally, don't say like Highgate, because that's boring, like originally.
Jamaica.
Jamaica, that's alright, you can
If
slag
we're
your...
really honest, we don't claim a continent, we don't claim an island, we claim a continent, so it's Africa.
Round of applause for that statement, please. Can't really say that until that can happen. I can't say nothing. Have you got all the votes in? Yeah, have you got all the votes in? Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.